the benefit of others? Are you using your influence? That will impress me, not I follow Hannah on Instagram.
But I think that that's the typical when you see of folks who are racist or who really are deep into white supremacy. They always say, I have that one, here's my black friend. Like, let me introduce you to my black friend. You know, and so
if in 2020, if you have less than 5 black friends, I'm gonna need you to exit stage left.
Yeah.
In 2020, if you have less than 5 black friends, I need you to exit stage left because you are not putting in the work.
Right. And here, I know we're almost out of time, but quickly, when you think about education and everything we've learned, Black people are always taught about white America. White people must be intentional about learning about Black America, Black LGBTQ, LGBTQ of color, people of color. You have to be intentional about seeking out that information. You have to be intentional about having Black friends and Black LGBTQ friends, because most people, and especially how Louisville is divided, Black people are just quarantined typically to past 9th Street. And so in order to even see sometimes other Black people, you have to actually come out of your neighborhood and actually go see Black people. You know,
like, wow.
And I also think that what's important, like as we're talking about the LGBTQ community, that it was a trans Black woman, Marsha P. Johnson, she's the one that really got the LGBTQ community right started. Like, it was Marsha P. Johnson that it was her work that she did years ago, and the death of her that is why we're seeing LGBTQ rights in the way that we have. Like, she was fighting for that years ago, and so just for folks to exclude Black people or the Black voice out of the LGBTQ community, I mean, I just think that it mirrors what our nation has done, whether it's in the, you know, straight or cis community, whether it's in the LGBTQ community, it's the same.
So I want to bring this fast fact back, okay? If you want to see Black people, leave your neighborhood.
Leave your neighborhood. And here's the thing that they will often
drive to an area
all doing the same thing.
Black people.
Yeah.
You have
That's from DDBS.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I mean, and I'm looking at JP, who's tuning in, is like, it's pathetically sad that you have to say that.
Yeah. And it's the truth. It's how the city was intentionally designed. 9th Street divide was put in intentionally to keep what they called undesirables out of downtown. That didn't just happen. That was man-made lanes put in there to keep Black people out of downtown. So it was made intentionally. And so if you live in the East End, typically there aren't very many Black people around. And so what you perceive as Black or even Black LGBTQ is what you've seen on TV, because you've never, and you would find, just like we were speaking last night, me and Couture are some of the most regular, kind of common, boringest people that, but
approachable, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and people, but they don't know that. They have this perception of what 2 lesbian women would look like living together. And we're really just like 2 normal, regular people. That's what we are. You know?
Just 2 human beings, folks.
Just 2 human beings. Yeah.
I'm still over here tripping that we had to tell people if they want to you gotta leave your neighborhood. You gotta be willing to do that.
You gotta be willing to do that.
You gotta be willing to do that. Yeah, I think about all the times that I left my neighborhood and I went to other neighborhoods too.
And you have, and the sad part about that is we've always had to. And so when I talk to institutions here in Louisville, we've talked to the ballet and everything, and we're going to get a bus and we're going to bring the Black people into downtown to see this great thing at an institution. Why not just take it to them? You know, why not just cross 9th Street and take it right to that community? You know, there's beauty in that community, you know, but when we spoke about language and earlier, the language that this city has constructed is that you can't cross 9th Street. Like it's like you're gonna go to a whole nother world. You know?
Well, and some of that is because they've been taught to be afraid.
Right.
Right? They've been taught that if you go past 9, all this crime is happening.
Right,
And
right.
you know, all of a sudden, you know, you're gonna be raped or robbed or shot or whatever. So the very first thing, right, is, you know, we spend so much time in life learning things that we want to know. We want to learn how to sew. We want to learn how to knit. We want to learn how to cook. We want to learn how to do makeup. So we seek it out and we learn how to do it. So if we truly want to learn the Black culture, then you have to take a step to do it. And everybody shouldn't have to hold your hand, because if you were able to learn other things on your own, why should we have to hold your hand to do that? And I think that's how you begin tearing down those biases and those things that you were taught that were not true, that were not factually true. One of the things that I noticed when I came here, coming from upstate New York, I didn't come straight here from New York. I was in Miami first. But when I came and I drove down through the West End, I was like, oh, okay, this is the only place I've ever been in America. And even though they're so segregated, you had a white hood.
Yeah.
Like literally like calling people, because it was just like, oh, okay. So, you know, the West End is not just Black people.
Right.
You know, that's the other thing that we, you know, is really important, is that's not all the type of people that are there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could, whew, it is 2:55 and I do not know where the time went at all. I don't know where it went at all. Ladies, can you, because we only have 5 minutes left, and I do want to end on time for those that are watching. If you are on Facebook and you're streaming, definitely hop backstage, because we did have Jedi cover networking today. So there is no charge. You get to network and meet everybody. And especially if you haven't seen a Black person, actually do one, okay? You know, it is what it is. So we got 5 minutes left, but the topic today is being gay and Black are not the same. So can you give some final thoughts, comments? Also, please share with people. We dropped your Twitter as well as your website, Hannah, in there. Katura, if you could share where people can connect with you. If you're an LGBT organization and you don't have any diversity and you've been saying, well, we can't find anybody, the truck stops here, okay? Bus, truck, whatever. Can tell them where they can find you. And a few last words.
Yes, they can find me on Twitter at it's just at Katura Heron on Twitter. Just my first and last name. And then my final words is that I would recommend non-Black people who are in the LGBTQ community to right now really get engaged with what is happening not only here in our city as we fight for justice for Breonna, but really take the time to understand what we're seeing across our nation of the different injustices that Black folks have been seeing, especially and across the nation. We've been seeing a lot of trans Black folks being killed. And so I think that if they are looking for something specific to get involved in, I would recommend them really looking into Black trans lives who are being killed and brutalized by police and other folks across the nation, and that's where they can plug into.
Thank you.
My name on Twitter is Hannah Drake 628, and that's the same for my Instagram. And I piggyback everything that Katura said. Certainly, if you are white and LGBTQ, I would still challenge you to always look at your heart. Like we said, it is possible, very possible, to be racist and to be LGBTQ. Those things do not have to be separate. So just as a person, challenge your heart and your beliefs and see where you stand. And if you stand on the side of wrong, then make a commitment to do better.
And I will add one more thing, is that make sure you all look up Tala Wilson. She is a young Black woman who does a lot for our Black LGBTQ community. And she is on the front lines right now with the work. She's got a program that she does called Diversity at the Table that she's been doing for years. And so if you're looking for someone else specifically to support, I would recommend you all seeking out her and supporting her work.
How do you spell her name, Keturah?
Tala Wilson, Wilson. Tala Wilson.
And you said it's Diversity Table?
Diversity at the Table.
Yeah.
I've always said, if the tables that you occupy, whether it be at work, whether it be at the dinner table at home, whether it be at the social tables when you're out hanging out with your friends, if you don't have diversity around that table, there is some serious filters going on in your life that is not allowing you to look at the world holistically. Start with your tables. I love the name of what it is that she's doing. All right, it is 2:59 and I do not want to stand in way of networking. Okay, you two ladies, I have a feeling that this will not be the last time. This conversation was enriching. I love it when I attend one of my events and I walk away with a whole lot to chew on and to think about. So I'm going to tell you all really quickly how networking works. In Hopin, on the left side of the screen, you will see a red live button where you see networking. You will click that button, and when you're ready, you're hit ready for your camera. And you'll have one-on-one dialogue with someone randomly on the screen. And if you two want to continue the relationship, whether it be business or personal, if you both hit connect, the blue button at the top of your screen, that person will show up in your dashboard. I like to say, think of it as business cards that you collect when you're at a conference or a trade show. So with that being said, I won't stay in the way, but I do want to leave a few final remarks. What you heard today, being gay is not a get out of racism free card. And although we share some of the same oppressors, white queer folks must come to terms with the fact that they can play a vital role in making progress in society for their Black and brown brothers and sisters. All communities struggle in some way with race, and the LGBT community is no different. Racism has always played a role in the relationship between white and Black queer people. Blacks often feel as though LGBTQ rights have been whitewashed, while Black queers are still fighting for survival. The reality is, why not acknowledge the hypocrisy in that, and let's fight the good fight together. We will see you back here, same time, same place next week, where we've got a panel of comedians that are going to have us cracking up. We're discussing humor and human rights, and we're doing so in a very comic way. Thank you so much for tuning in to DDBS Digital Dialogue. I look forward to seeing you all here next week.